Okay, gang, we're going to do our practice quiz for 5.6 law cosines. Remember that you have to bring this completed practice quiz to class with you on Monday. That's a requirement. So here we go. We're on slide 1. We'll start on slide 1. And the first problem says solve for C. So, looking at the situation, I mean, obviously it's a law cosines quiz, but even if we didn't know that, we do not have the required pair of information, so we would know this is going to be a law of cosines problem. The angle that I have is 53, so I'm going to put cosine 53 out here, and then over here all by itself, on the other side of this big long equation, is going to be c squared. And then in the middle, I'll have my other two sides, that combination, 10 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times 10 times 14 times cosine 53. Since there are no variables in this thing, this big long thing, I'm just going to type it in. So 10 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times 10 times 14 times cosine 53. Just type it all in. And then remember, what you get, which I got 127 point stuff, what you get is c squared. So we need to square root that, and c is 11.29. You are not solving the whole triangle. You are only finding side C. And we did it, we're done. Problem 2. This is an area situation. So let's look at the first triangle. We're finding area now. So this actually is a really good thing, because I have all three sides. And if I have all three sides, then I can find area using Hero's formula, which is that big long radical. Let me write it down here, with 4 numbers underneath it. Now, what are the 4 numbers? Well, remember the first one is half the perimeter. So let's find the perimeter. So if I add all those up, it's been a long day, I don't trust my arithmetic, so I use my calculator. Add them all up and then divide by 2. I want half the perimeter. So half the perimeter is 26. Now, take 26 minus each side in any order. So 26 minus 18 is 8. 26 minus 20 is 6, and 26 minus 14 is 12. Now, I will multiply all those things together, and again, it's under a radical, so I got to make sure I square root that, and the area is 122.38. 122.38. There's no units, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to write down the answer. All right, the next problem is another area. Find the area. And this is what I know. Nothing makes me happier than to know that, because I have 2 sides and the angle between. So I know that area is 1/2 side times sine of included angle. So remember, you can always do 1/2 side sine as long as the angle you have is between the 2 sides that you have. And just type it in. There is literally no work to this problem. We're just going to type it in. And I got 47.84. And again, there's no units, so I don't need to worry about that. I will have units on my word problems. No word problems here, we're just finding area. So that is it for side 1. All right, let's go to side 2. And it's exactly like side 1, which is exactly like your quiz. This is exactly what your quiz is going to look like. So here we go. First one says, solve for A. All right, so where's A? I got 13, 28, 17, A, K, F, A. All right, I'm gonna find side A. Now again, on test day, when the problems are kind of more mixed up, you'll need to decide right off the bat, am I going with the law of sines or with the law of cosines? If you look at this situation, you can tell it is not the law of sines. Because if you're going to use the law of sines, you have to know both of these, or both of these, or both of these. And I don't. So this is going to be a law of cosines problem. So my angle is 28. Out here on the end is going to go cosine 28. Back here on the other end will go the side that matches up with 28, which is a squared, or a, so it's a squared in the formula, in the law of cosines. And then in the middle will be that combination of 13 and 17. So 13 squared plus 17 squared minus 2 times 13 times 17 times cosine 28. And again, this doesn't always happen, but if you have all numbers here, no variables in here, then you can just type it in. And then remember to take the square root. So we got 13 squared, 17 squared, so I got to be careful, I got to square root that. So I got 8.23. So side A is 8.23. When I typed all that in, I got 67 something, but I have to square root it because that is a squared. All right, perfect. Now number 2, we are finding the area. And just like the last practice quiz we did, the first problem has all 3 sides given, all right? All 3 sides are given. So let's look at it. We have 10, 12, and 16. We're finding the area. So we have all 3 sides, so we're going to use Hero's formula. Here we go. Big radical, 4 numbers underneath. The first number that's underneath is always half the perimeter. So what's my perimeter? Let's see, can I do this one? 38. If the perimeter is 38, then half of it would be 19. So that's the number I start with. And then I'm going to take 19 minus each of these. So 19 minus 10, 19 minus 12, 19 minus 16. Type all that in. Square root it, and I got 59.92. This should be an easy one, guys. This is not tough at all, especially the last problem. Look at the last problem. Again, we're finding area. Take a look at that situation that we have. I have 2 sides and the angle in between. So I go straight to my calculator and I type in 1/2 side times side times sine of included angle. 1/2 side, side, sine. Don't forget the 1/2. That might be the place where you get a little tricky there. Don't forget the 1/2. And I got 84.37 as my area. And that's it. That's exactly what your quiz is going to look like on Monday. Make sure that you bring this completed practice quiz with you on Monday. Thanks.